Well, good morning and welcome to another wine steward video. My name is Jim and I'm one of the stewards here. Stewards of wine. I think we're also stewards of customers. We take care of wine and we take care of you. We try to get you together, better acquainted. So let's get you acquainted with what's going on recently. I always need a prop up here to remind me of what to tell you about. And this is a beautiful Washington State wine. Do we have a Washington State event coming up? Not necessarily. But this will almost certainly be poured down the street from here in a couple of weeks on, I believe, June 4th, 2 Tuesdays from now. We will be operating out of not the Wine Steward in the evening, but we will be down the street at our friend Todd Uticle's Sidetracked Bar and Grill, where we are partnering with them and with Primrose Bakery to put on one hell of a walk-around wine and food tasting show. So we invite you to sign up. We are hoping for 90 people to join us that evening and be able to come on in and for a couple of hours visit different tasting stations throughout that space. A couple of them will even be outside if the weather's nice, and it should be by then. And one of the wines that we'll be pouring at one of those tasting stations will almost certainly be Mark Ryan, the Dissident Cabernet blend. This is a blend of Cab and some other nice things, but it's a wine we've carried several times, and we do plan on putting this, in fact, to the Red Collector Wine Club pretty soon here. It's that good, and it's one of many, many delicious things that we'll be pouring at Sidetrack, where, in fact, the emphasis will not be on necessarily red wine. There will certainly be lots of really nice red wines to enjoy, but given the time of the year and given our chance to save a little money, we're going to pour some beautiful dry rosés and clean dry whites that are perfect for this warming up time of the year. So anticipate having a wide spread of deliciousness in the form of wine, probably some spirits as well, and then the wonderful food of Sidetrack will be served alongside. So make sure you sign up. You can go to thewinesteward.com right now if you have not already to participate. How about that? Thank you, Mark Ryan. Now let's have a commercial announcement or a reminder of the fact that we sell beautiful spirits here, and some of them are rather inexpensive and yet not the things that you're going to see down the street at the grocery store. We very carefully taste what we buy in terms of wine and fine cheese and now spirits as well. And we occasionally get the opportunity to buy up. We're often rewarded by buying the regular product of a brand with the great stuff of a brand. So we were just allocated all of, I think, 2 bottles of this and a partner whiskey. So this is a bourbon from New York State, Hudson Valley, and it's Hill Rock, and it is gorgeous. This is just like all the great whiskeys, particularly good because of how it was finished. Of course, to make American bourbon as Americans drink, you have to age it in American oak. That's one of the requirements. And then you can finish it in something else. So this spent some time after the American oak sojourn in port barrels. So you get some of that essence of port. These barrels are still, they still have memory of their former inhabitants, you could call it. Port used to be in the barrels that this whiskey went into, and it just gives it a little more beautiful cherry quality. This is one of those up a notch, actually up several notches, whiskeys that we were very, very fortunate to bring in recently. This is just to say that you should always be checking our collectible room downstairs to see what's come in recently, because it's always changing. We'll often have only 2 or 3 bottles of one of these goodies. Sometimes it's a high-end Michter's. Many of you know that one, and you're asking for more. Well, we only get more when we sell more of their regular, very good bourbon. But in the meantime, we have this gorgeous stuff in its partner whiskey, which is finished, I believe, in Sauterne barrels. So collect them both. Anyway, beautiful stuff. And we invite you to keep an eye on our higher end spirits collection. Survey that from time to time. I want to tell you that any minute now, the backdoor bell is going to ring, and I'd better finish this video before it does. And our Kermit Lynch friends will be delivering a nice heap of wines. We are now in our 25th year here at the Wine Steward, and it's really cool how some things that have waned come back around. What goes around comes around, they say, right? Is that the right way around? Anyway, we are bringing in some more beautiful Kermit Lynch wines recently, and one of them will be this. I was shown this the other day and said, bravo, Daniel, let's definitely get some of that back into the store. What is it? It is called Sang de Caillou, which means blood of the rock, which sounds a little scary, but it is in fact a rocky place, this place called Vaqueras. It's a village right next to Gigondas, another village, which is not far from where? Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So this is perhaps the third most well-known sub-appellation of the Southern Rhone, Sang de Caillou. It's going to be Grenache and Syrah and Mourvèdre. It is gorgeous. It no longer costs $20 as it did when we started carrying it about 25 years ago, but it doesn't cost all that much more than that, and frankly, it's better. It used to be a little funky and a little rustic, you could say, but now this Sang de Caillou, this beautiful blend of Syrah, Grenache, Mourvèdre, I'm going to prove how good it is right now. Watch this. Watch. Watch carefully. Watch. You see what I mean? It's delicious. So find out for yourself and get into some of our new Kermit arrivals, including this Vaqueras from Sang de Caillou. Kind of a cool name. You should see the proprietor. His name is Serge, and he's got an enormous, what do you call it, walrus-style mustache. Is that a walrus? Anyway, it's pretty gaudy, but he's a character, a real character. I'd like to tell you about another product that is on its way in. I hope we see it today. This is it right here. This is the empty bottle thereof. This is, I'm declaring it, the very, very best rosé I have had yet from the 2023 vintage. This may be the rosé of the year. I don't know yet because we have a few more to try from this vendor and that vendor. But this wine from Fabre de Provence, the Fabre family has been involved in this for hundreds of years, and they are still actively involved. They have not sold this brand to some big concern. This is still family owned, and the Fabre family is still investing their energies in the actual winemaking and grape growing of this Cru Classé rosé. Now, what is that? This is a better level of rosé that is membership only, you could say. Well, you can say it because it's true. Back in the 1950s, when a lot of crummy rosé was being made, some very quality-driven producers got together and said, let's form a group, let's have certain requirements self-imposed upon us of limiting harvests and not adding things to our wine, but making really, truly great world-class rosé. And so the Cru Classé category was created, this club that was a limited membership. There were only about 20 or so members at the inception of this, and one of the rules was you could never add another member to this club. You could only get booted out if you were no longer fulfilling the requirements. And so that number is lower now. I think we're in the high teens or mid-teens of members of the Cru Classé. Now, all of that sounds fancy. I can tell you, having tasted this wine, which was rosé, now it looks like a white wine, but the staff got after it after I did, and there it went. I think everybody is pretty on board with calling this one of the greatest rosés of 2023, if not the greatest. And it's got more mouthfeel. It's got a Bandol-like texture to it. It does not cost as much as Bandol, and I can't wait to get it in and show to you this beautiful rosé from Fabre en Provence, a Cru Classé rosé. Voila. And what else can we tell you about? Let's tell you about this. Let's have a sip of it first, shall we? Does it kill you to watch me tasting beautiful things? Oh my, that's great. Looks like champagne, doesn't it? It ain't. It is Corpinat. And you're saying, what the hell is Corpinat? I hope you are. And I'm saying, where the hell is the bottle? I gotta grab it real quick. You can hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, here's the bottle. I'm back. Were you worried? This is Gramona Imperial, I should say, because it's from Spain. And it's actually from Catalunya, Spain. Where am I? This Gramona is one of the greatest sparkling wines of Cava, except it ain't Cava. This represents yet another group of quality-minded producers getting together and saying, let's kind of defect from the Cava name, because the grocery store versions are kind of bringing down, almost stigmatizing the name Cava. So they have decided to use the term Corpinat. I don't know what that means literally, but these are producers who are growing their fruit organically, if not biodynamically, and they are making better stuff. This is the top sparkling wine, I believe, of Gramona, Imperial, it spent no fewer than 52 months on its lees. Therefore, over 4 years, lees contact, that's the second fermentation and the time that the champagne is in, Corponat is in individual bottles, resting on that, not attractive gunky stuff, but that is very flavor and texture applying gunky looking stuff. And then, of course, they get it out of there. You've got a crown cap on the bottle in that meantime during that midpoint in the production of great sparkling wine. This is méthode champenoise, we could call it, but it's méthode traditionnelle, more appropriately said. And 52 months, once again, which is remarkable, and you can taste that depth of flavor and wonderful texture in this beautiful Corponat, which, why am I telling you about it? Because it's on our wine bar menu this week as the sparkling wine of the week. It costs as much as entry-level champagne, and it's easily as good as entry-level champagne, but tastes different, and tastes different. I always say and, not but. It's more positive. Lovely. I hope you'll come in and have a glass of this sparkling wine of the week from Cremona. Let's just tell you briefly about a couple more things on that wine bar menu and then let you go. Alrighty. Oh, this is cool. Some of you have been asking, having read a article in, I think, SF Gate or the Chronicle, same thing, right? About Pinot Noir Blanc. Did you know there was such a thing? Yes, Pinot Noir is the name of a red grape, but if you get the skins away from the wine very quickly, like do a pressing and maybe hours of skin contact instead of weeks of skin contact, you're making a white wine or a barely pink wine. This is a barely pink Pinot Noir Blanc. It's just got a very, very delicate tinge of pink to it. It's gorgeous. This is from Coelho up in Oregon, and it's one of the best Pinot Noir Blancs, not Pinot Blanc, Pinot Noir Blancs that I've ever had. It's got a texture that tells you, oh, this is Pinot Noir, and yet it's a little cleaner. It's not as fruity as a red Pinot Noir would be. So check it out. This is on our wine bar flight over there, okay? It's part of the white flight, even though, like I said, just a little tinge of pink. And then, well, what else can we say? We can say that we have, oh, this is cool. Just so you know about something you might not know about. This is a Chignon. Chignon is a sub-region. It's a village, and the surrounding vineyards are named by the village Chignon in the Savoie region of eastern France, the foothills of the Alps, you could say. You can't say because it's true. And this is 100% the grape Jacquer, which is the name Jacques, basically, plus R-E at the end. So it's Jacquer is the grape, and no oak is applied to this. You wouldn't want oak on a Jacquer. You really want to maintain the effect of, let's say, snow melt. It is that refreshing. It's what Steve King would call his gin and tonic wine, if that gives you an idea of the effect of this beautiful, vibrant white wine from the often snow-covered foothills of the Alps in Savoie. Beautiful place. The Tour de France always utilizes it because it's so darn scenic, and you can almost you can taste the place. This is a beautiful wine that represents a beautiful place. Chignon in the Savoie region. Let's tell you about one more wine that I'm excited to give to the Wine Adventure Wine Club this month and also apply to our wine bar flight. That is kind of the idea of the Red Flight, by the way. This week's Red Flight utilizes May Wine Club wine. So some of you members can find out ahead of time, before opening your own bottle at home, what you're getting this month. So this is called, kind of a long name, Domaine La Grangente Saint-Joseph. And the Saint-Joseph part is a little confusing because there is a wine appellation in the northern Rhone Valley of France called Saint-Joseph, where they make 100% Syrah. Well, this is not 100% Syrah. This is Grenache Syrah Mauvais, and I think a little bit of Carignan as grown in the southern Rhone. So this is a beautiful Côte de Rhone from the southern Rhone Valley of France, Grenache based, delicious. And if you can remember a producer called Grand Veneur that we used to carry and may again someday, that is a producer of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. The same family is producing this alternative line of wines called Domaine La Grangente Saint-Joseph. Really tasty, under $20 Côte de Rhone, and I invite all of you, wine club members or not, to check this beauty out. That's it. It's a short one today. Just wanted to remind you about the Sidetracked event, the beautiful whiskey downstairs, and a beautiful wine bar menu once again. Thank you so much for all of your participation at The Wine Steward. Let's make it to 26 years, shall we?